Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Ken asked me, will you have any young people here? And I said, yes. Under 75. It's our youth group at church is everybody under 60. So welcome. I'm just got some of my favorite friends over here. The pie lady, Annette Short. When we first moved in here, she brought us a pecan pie, and she's been doing it ever since.
Nice.
And that's her son. I guess we're going to just say one quick thing. Ken has been the kind of friend that you could share anything with over these years, and I shared a lot of stuff with him. And he's always been.
Is that my friend Mel?
What's that?
This is Beverly Vandermolen.
Hey Beverly, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine now that I've seen you. How's your husband?
Well, we just got home, and it's going to take some, work. You know this story,
Well,
Mel.
we'll get back to you. Thank you for calling. Her husband has what?
Lymphoma.
Lymphoma. And he's been in the hospital. But they say he can get over that.
Yeah, Robert?
Anyway, the one thing I want to say is that the film that I made on him is called He Leadeth Me. The Ken Medema story, and it's on YouTube. So if you want to watch a film that tells all the history, it's fun. But I was speaking at a Fuller banquet with the faculty and staff and the students and everything, and I told a story about first professor who came the same year I did, Jim Morgan. And he came down into my office about 10 o'clock and said, "It's coffee time." And I said, I have things to do. Miles to go before I sleep. He said, okay. He came back the next day, 10 o'clock. "It's coffee time." I said, "No, don't bother. I don't like coffee." He said, "That's all right." Came back 3 days in a row, and then fourth day, he stopped. And so I went looking for him. And when he saw me in his office, he said, "You came!" I told the story, and Ken made a wonderful song out of it. So I'd like him to do that for you. And then he'll take it from here. Ken, welcome.
Well, now the clock strikes 10. It's coffee time again. While the world is rushing to its judgment day, judgment day. We'll take some time and we'll try to find the rhyme. And if it gets too hard, we'll laugh the time away. Well, I know you say you're busy, but the pace can make you dizzy, and your heart attack is just around the bend, around the bend. Leave it all behind you, 'cause the craziness can blind you, and besides all that, I sure do need a friend. The original was, I damn sure need a friend. And there'll be time enough to fight the windmills and all the battles that never seem to end. So from now till quarter after, it's a cup of love and laughter. So come on, old friend, it's coffee time again. Or from now till 20 after. Or from now till
I don't know where his brain is, but it's somewhere. Ken?
So very often I begin my show actually with a song that's kind of autobiographical, and I want to do that for you right now. Let me tell you what we can expect. One of the things I want us to do after a while, and I'm going to sing a few songs, tell you a couple stories, but I want to get some stories from y'all. I've been around the South a lot.
Southern me.
Some stories about how you are connected to Mel.
Oh, God.
Yeah, shut up, Mel. This is our bit. But anyway, I want to hear some of those stories, and then I'm going to do my best to create songs on the spot based on what you have said. But here's my little autobiographical song. When my days grow tedious and my nights grow cold, I will sing, hallelujah, I will sing. When my mind grows weary and my body gets old, I will sing, hallelujah, I will sing. I will sing, like a bird upon the wing. I will keep on singing till my story's told. I will sing, hallelujah, I will sing. Make up a song, said my mama long ago, and you walk in the bright morning sun. Make up a song, set a thirst in my soul when you listen to the grand river run. Make up a song when you mess up somehow and you can't see the harm you have done. Make up a song, hey, put it all out there and sing. Years old and you just met the girl of your dreams. Make up a song when your teenage daughter is falling apart at the seams. Make up a song when you watch politicians screwing the poor with their schemes. Oh, make up a song, put it all out there and sing. Out loud when you're laughing, sing through your tears when you're crying, sing on the ground when you're crawling, sing in the sky when you're flying, sing in the days of your living, make up a song for the night of your dying, make up a song, whoa, put it all out there and sing. Strangers turn to friends, from birth until death, and with every last breath, let the music never end. Let the song go on and on, through the night until the dawn. Sing your joys and your tears, sing your hopes and your fears, let the song go on and on and on and on. Yesterday's church won't survive. Make up a song when you wake up one morning and glad that you're simply alive. Make up a song 5. Make up a song, put it all out there and sing. Make up a song with a friends and companions who are standing right here by your side. Make up a song with the questions not answered, with the things that you never have tried. Oh, make up a song so the audience waits to be taken on a musical ride. Make up a song, whoa, put it all out there and sing. Let the music never end until strangers turn to friends. From birth until death, and with every last breath, let the music never end. Let the song go on and on through the night until the dawn. Sing your joys and your tears and your hopes and your fears. Let the song go on and on and on. Let the song go on and on and on. Let the song go on and on and on. Sing, 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 Songs come from very strange places. Many years ago, I was asked to be the guest soloist at a big, fancy, dancy, super-duper Presbyterian church in the southeast. I won't name it. Some of us may have friends there, but it was just called the Frigidaire Presbyterian Church.
Aren't most of them?
I was supposed to be there on Missions Sunday. Now that's the biggest day of the year. It's bigger than Christmas and Easter because they raise quadrillions of dollars on that Sunday. So I was a soloist, and I knew it was a very sort of upper class, stuffy church. So I wrote this sort of neoclassical piece to sing. It went like this. Let all the music ring. Let all the people sing. From every corner of the earth, proclaim the gospel of new birth. Let all the music ring. That's what I thoroughly intended to say.
Instead.
So, it's Saturday night before the Sunday, and I got into town early, and I discovered that the youth of the church were having a party in my honor. A huge party, and there were about 100 and some kids in this youth program, so I thought, well, this is going to be a hot deal. So, and they were having it in the recreation room of this gorgeous southern mansion. So I came, I walked into the room, and there were 100 kids there, and they were all dancing. And they had brought in a jukebox from 1959 with all of my favorite songs. You know, I had a girl, Donna was her name, shooby-doo-wah, since she left me. And my favorite song that accurately described my high school love life. Since my baby left me, I found a new place as well. Down into England on the street called So there we are. 100 kids, jukebox, and they're all dancing. Parenthesis. I never learned to dance. I was raised in this uptight church. I went to an uptight private Christian school where we did not dance. And so I had no idea as to how to dance. And so, and besides that, none of the kids came up to me. Oh, Mr. Ken, so good to see you. I'm glad you're at the church. No, nobody came up to me except one 14-year-old girl who was, let's put it this way. It was a Saks Fifth Avenue church. She and her family bought their clothes at Goodwill. You know what I'm saying? With me? Okay. So Her dance card was always empty. She didn't have any friends in the youth group. She was the one who came up to me and said, Mr. Ken, would you dance with me? I said, I told her about my not knowing how to dance. I told her my whole story about my uptight church-related school. I said, but don't give up on me, because now that I have a career and a little money, I'm learning how to dance. And I can do the box step now. I can do She said, oh, you'll dance with me then. I said, no way. She drags me out onto the dance floor, kicking and screaming, I can't do this. I stepped on her feet. I stepped on my feet. I knocked over 5 kids, 3 lamps, and 1 statue in the process. But I had a wonderful time, right? So when I got back to my hotel, my room was on the 2nd floor. I'm on my floor. Well, you can knock me down, step in my face, slander my name all over the place, but please lay off on my blue suede shoes. Yeah. I don't know what the people downstairs thought, but I was having a nice time. And I did what I always do when I can't sleep. I remember thinking, I remember somebody else who couldn't sleep. And she sang, I could have, right? Danced all night. I could have danced all night and still have been for more. I could have spread my wings and done 1,000 things I'd never done before. I never know what made it so exciting. Why all at once my heart took flight. I only know when he began to dance with me. I could have danced, danced, danced. So, the next morning, I'm planning to sing, let all the music ring. And that's not exactly what happened, because I wrote a song the night before. And I decided to sing that new song at Frigidaire. And so, this is how it all began. She asked me to dance, and I'd never tried dancing before. Minister, what is he doing up there? I had visions of everyone laughing us right off the floor. Music director, take the guy's mic away now. No, I protested. It just wouldn't be any good. She finally insisted, and finally I told her I would. It was unforgettable. She was a fresh breath of spring on my cold winter's day. Unforgettable. She taught this singer to sing in a whole new way. I love this piano. My Lord asked me to dance So for a number of years, I worked as a music therapist in a psychiatric hospital. And one of the groups that I got to work with was a group of adolescents. And so I got, we had actually, some of the teenagers had formed a little band. And of course, the idea of the band was not necessarily primarily making music. The idea of the band was to build community, was to have kids take responsibility for each other and for the work, all of that stuff. That's what therapists were all about. So all the kids who were, kind of assigned to the band were all kids who were really problem kids, and these are kids who needed a community experience. They needed a sense of self-reliance. They needed to know that they were worthwhile. And so we had this little band. So I get this call from the adolescent ward. We got a new kid on the ward. His name is Jimmy. And he came in because he'd been in the school trying to stab teachers and took off all his clothes. And juvie was full. So they brought him to us. We think he might need music therapy. Thanks a lot. Okay. So I went up to the ward where he was staying, and he was sitting there in a big old chair, and I knelt down beside the chair and I said, Jimmy, my name is Ken. I'm the music guy around here, and I thought maybe you'd want to come to our music room. Not a word did he say. Totally mute. I talked a little while longer, and I said, okay, Jimmy, I tell you what, I'll be back tomorrow. So I left. Came back the next morning, same thing. Knelt by the chair. Jimmy, I'm Ken. I'm the music guy around here. Maybe you'd like to come down to our music room. Not a word. Totally mute. And they told me he had been mute ever since he came in. So we continued this process into the second week, into the third week. It was week number 3. It was Monday morning. I came into the ward. Jimmy, I'm Ken. I'm the music. He said, shut up. He handed me a wrinkled piece of paper. And he said, that's my song. I said, oh, cool. If you'll come down to our music room, I'll set your words to a tune. Nah, you're gonna make a tune and you're gonna show up here tomorrow morning. And you're gonna sing my song. I said, okay, Jimmy, I'll be here. So I arrived at 8:30 in the morning, and Jimmy had somehow corralled all 50 of the kids on the adolescent ward. He had them sitting on the floor in front of the piano. I don't know how he did that. I mean, I do not know. And I showed up at about 8:32, and he informed me I was late. And then he said, the man is going to sing my song. And so these were the words that Jimmy wrote. Touching is a very hard thing to do. Touching is a very hard thing to do. Seems like you can get to me, I can't get to you. What are you afraid of? Why can't we touch? What are you afraid of? Why can't we touch? You need it, I need it so very much. Oh, it takes so long to break out of your shell. is a very, very, very hard thing to do. Oh. Seems like you can't get to me. I can't get to you. Well, okay. So, what happened after that, Jimmy, in fact, did come down to our music room. He did learn to play the drums, and actually got to be a reasonably respectable beginning drummer in the year that he was in the hospital. And he started talking to his psychiatrist and started talking to the folks on the ward. I mean, we kind of opened the door. So it's a year later. Jimmy is about to leave the hospital now. They've got a little apartment for him. This is in New Jersey. They've got a little apartment for him down in Newark. And actually they've got him a part-time job. So it looks like things are beginning to happen for him. So Jimmy comes marching into my office on his last day. And he hands me a wrinkled piece of paper, just like the piece of paper he handed me a year ago. He said, "It's my number 2 song." And these are the words. Maybe if I try, I can say I love you. Maybe if I try, I can say I care. Maybe if I try, I can say I love you. Maybe if I try, I can say I care. Maybe if we work it out together, we can learn to love each other. Maybe if we talk about it, we can learn to share. Maybe if I try, I can say I love you. Maybe if I try, I can say I care. I am part of the leadership of a little tiny foundation called Interlude. Interlude got started 16 years ago. Its mission was to provide retreats for musicians, particularly church musicians, because that's one class of people that is severely underpaid, severely overworked, having to do with the egos of CEO ministers who think they run the world, having to do with the volunteer choir people who think they can tell you what to do and what not to do, having to do with cantankerous boards and whatever. These people are hard workers, and they are not often treated well. So I had a bunch of friends who said, let's do a retreat for musicians. Let's bring them to a lovely place, a lovely hotel setting, and let's feed them 4-star meals. And let's give them, let's do sort of therapeutic kind of group therapy sessions in the morning, and let's give them the whole afternoon off to play and work out and go swimming and take walks and read books and take naps. Let's make the whole thing free. I said, okay. So we did the first retreat back in 2009. We had no money, but our facilitator, who's a wonderful therapist, said she'd come. And it was an absolutely stunningly, staggeringly beautiful communal experience. We formed such close relationships there. We said, this has to continue. It's been going on now for 16 years, 17. And every summer we have 2 retreats. We bring in about 12 people per each. And we just are together to talk and to learn and to think about our lives and to ask questions and to share with each other, tell each other our stories. Last year I got a call from one of our previous retreat guests who had just gotten cruelly fired from a church. He was in a big, huge church that had several hundred members, and that he had just brought back a youth choir from a tour in England, and they brought back 40 kids. 40 kids is a big youth choir these days. 40 kids, and they sang their coming home concert, and the pastor called my friend into his office and said, well, we're going to go to Christian rock. And so you're out of a job, clean out your office, you're done. Just like that. And he called me on the phone the day after, and he was weeping. He was weeping. And he said, this is tragic. But had I not gone to Interlude, I could not have seen this firing as a gift. And so that was one of those confirmations that said, you're doing holy work. If you're interested in going to our website, it's interluderetreats.org. And we're always... So here's a song that sort of came out of those kinds of experiences. It's called Locked Inside Our Skin. Locked inside our skin, we live so far apart. What I wouldn't give to hear the beating of your heart. Trapped inside this flesh, as if inside some shell. Isolation is a game we play so very well. Here we stand, so many separate people who are longing to be known, trying to deal with the ache that we feel because we hate to be alone. Dream of uniting, we stand in your presence, and this is what we pray. Close the gap of every passing day. Dream of uniting, we stand in your presence. not yet here. Dare we take the risks of love and join to face our fear?
So let's have a little fun now. Probably everybody in this room has some kind of a connection with Mel White. And I'd love to know a little bit about those connections, how you are connected to Mel, what Mel has meant in your life. And if it's a funny story, that's great. If it's a serious moment, that's great. But then I'm going to do my best to create a song based on what you have given me. So let me start like this. Fly with me on the wings of a story. Take me to some place you know. Run with me down the roads you have traveled. I want to follow where you choose to go. Sail with me down the rivers of your memory. We'll sail together, 'cause there's so much to see. Fly with me on the wings of your story. Time's all we need, my friends. Come story with me. So who's got a story?
So I have a story.
All right, okay.
It's 1967. Maybe I've known Mel in this room longer than many. I'm a new student at Fuller Seminary, and Mel is my teacher in communications.
Oh,
Already by then, he's a master communicator, flying all around the country, speaking to large groups. And as a young seminarian, he's a hero. One day he comes into class and he says, "Last weekend I was in Iowa. I was asked to speak at a youth convention, and there were maybe 1,500 youth out there. And I was up on the platform and they gave this long introduction. It went up for 5, 6, 7 minutes about how wonderful I was. And I looked out there at these kids, all of them command performance. They didn't want to be there. They were not smiling. And I stood up there, and what I'd prepared, I couldn't give. And instead I looked at them and said, "Jesus loves you." And then I turned around, came back and sat down. And after a minute or two, the person who introduced me leaned over and said, "Is that all?" And Mel said to the students, and I wasn't quick enough, I should have said, "Isn't that enough?"
I don't really want to be here, not much at all. Don't want to be here, sure as hell is no call. I don't really want to be here, want to be someplace else. I don't really want to be here all by myself. I don't really want to be here. They told me I must. I don't really want to be here, but I must keep their trust. They'll tell my parents if I try to get away. I don't want to be here, not here on this and not here on this day. This whole thing is boring. We don't know teenagers at all. The whole thing is boring. They don't understand our call. We need to be rebels. Do things on our own. Do things our own way. Right now I'm feeling desperately alone. So they call the speaker. I know I'm gonna be bored. I'm gonna hear some bullshit about how you need to love the Lord. I don't wanna be here. Maybe he doesn't wanna be here too. That's when the strange thing happened. It looked like he just didn't know what to do. So he stood there for a moment, looking back and forth. I wonder what he's thinking. I wonder what it's worth. He stood there for a moment. And then he said 3 little words. I couldn't believe 3 little words. I was expecting a diatribe. No, only 3 little words. Expecting a lecture. 3 little words. He said, Jesus loves you. And then he sat back down. The place was deadly silent. Everybody's wondering, what's going to happen now? The moderator comes and says, "Is that all there is? Remember the song, if that's all there is? If that's all there is. If that's all there is, then let's keep dancing." We didn't know that song at the time. And he sat there in silence. And what he should have said is, "Isn't that enough?" But he didn't. He just sat there in silence. The moderator looked at us and said, "Well, I guess you've heard it all. Didn't want to be there, but suddenly things were changed. I didn't want to be there, but now it didn't feel so strange. I didn't want to be there, but now I realize something opened up in my mind.
different eyes.
Ken, hi, this is George. Mel and I have been friends since 1983, when my former partner and I started a clergy support group for gay ministers. And Mel started coming to that, and we've been friends ever since.
And good ones, thank you. The first one's here. When Gary died.
I look all around me. Here's what I see. So many friends who are part of the family, standing in pulpits, feeling so very much alone, standing before those churches, feeling all on their own. Oh, they preach so bravely, standing there on Sunday morning, but I wonder what's happening down on Monday morning. Who gives a rip about who they really are? As long as they preach some kind of good sermon, they'll be our local star, but we don't really care. Not a bunch about much else. They're who they are. They can take care of themselves. I see them time and time again, almost see the tears in their eyes. Something must be done, my friends, and damn it, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. Calling all gay preachers, come to this home. Come to a place and come to a moment when you are not alone. Come to a way of life where we hold each other's hand. And we'll learn how to be brave and strong in this, our alien land, our alien land. Come meet my friend who's charted the course before us. Come meet my friend, and we will join that chorus. A chorus of strangers at the gate. Come here holding hands. Dare to join with each other as refugees in this land. Come, my friend. We'll be brave and strong. We will not give up this battle, even though it lasts so long. You've got support now, and we are holding hands. We will break the gate down in this, the alien land.
Ken, several years ago, all of us who know and love Mel saw him struggling. And we saw him working hard to get back on his feet. And he's done that. And we are so grateful that after all the years that Gary helped him, and unfortunately finally passed, Marshall came into Mel's life.
Yes!
And Marshall is now here helping Mel recover. He walks, he dances. We love it.
Who's that guy walking around the place? Who's that guy walking around the place? Who's that guy with a big fat smile on his face? Who's that guy swimming in the pool? Sam, that guy swimming in the pool. I thought a long time ago we've gotten rid of that silly fool. Attention y'all, the troublemaker's back once more. Say attention y'all, the troublemaker's back once more. Remember stranger at the gate? Well, he's gonna open some doors. He's gonna walk. He's gonna dance. He's gonna swim. Take a chance. He's gonna write another book. Take a gander. Take a look. He's dangerous. He's too good. I thought we got rid of him for good. Man, you better watch out. Mel's on the road, he's doing so well. Yeah, who's that guy walking around? Who's that guy walking around? Everybody take notice. Everybody take notice. There's a new force of nature right here in Desert
Who's got a story?
I have one. Oh, is it? Go. Okay.
Yeah, go.
I'm Rose, the occupational therapist that's been working with Mel the last year and a half. And when I first met Mel, he was just in a wheelchair and he wasn't able to do much of anything except feed himself. He has come so far that now he is cooking. He baked the cookies you had for dessert. He's walking around the kitchen, sometimes without anything, sometimes with a cane. And so I've watched this all transpire over time. And Gary would be so proud because Gary was taking care of him completely right before he passed away. And then I came in and I just, it's just been one blessing after another. And the piano you're sitting at, when we first got started, I dragged him over there and said, we're going to transfer you from your wheelchair onto the piano bench. And he wanted me to play, so I got to play the first song on there. And then Mel started playing on his own and practicing all his old hymns and everything. And so it's such a pleasure to get you here to be really providing all this entertainment to us and really hearing the piano play like that.
What did you first play?
That's all. I know.
Wow.
It's something I learned when I was about 13 years old. And it's like, in my brain, it's about the only song I can play by heart. But we had a good time with that one, so.
notes of that piano. Hear them ringing in the room. Hear those notes so beautiful, covering up the sadness and the gloom. Hear the notes of that piano. Sound we've been waiting long to hear. And see the man sitting on that bench, far from those days of fear. I think I've seen a miracle, and I got to be a part. Yes, I think I've seen a miracle. This man, a work of godly art, walking, breathing miracle, like one I've rarely seen. We're continuing all this time, a long, long way from where we've ever been. So he'll keep playing this piano, making sounds we love to hear, filling this room with joy and delight, filling this room with good cheer. One of these days, he'll have a party. He'll ask his friend Ken to make up songs, and we'll all come for the wonder of this miracle, to see him growing, see him changing, see him courageous and strong.
My brother Marshall got to cook the sandwiches and the stuff, but since he's been here, my whole life has been better.
Thank you, bro.
Last
Mine has
night,
been as well.
last night, I was so depressed, I was yelling, and he said, just relax. No, I don't want to relax. He said, just relax. He's been such a good friend. And his dog ain't bad either. No, we watch out the clock, don't we? How are we doing for time?
We're doing great.
Okay,
We're
you
good.
know when to stop, right?
Yep.
I have one thing to give them from your program last night. There's some stuff over there on the table about Ken. Can somebody get it?
Yeah, I'll get it.
Okay.
I got it. Yep.
Ken's interlude is one of our projects, and I asked him if he would let me just say, if you just open the little thing that he gave you and put your camera on it, you know, it sends all that information.
Yeah.
Mel,
This is the information about.
come over here.
The-
There we go.
This is the information about where we were yesterday at the First Congregational Church in Long Beach. They have an amazing drop-in center for unhoused people that meets on a Sunday afternoon. Folks come in, They get a hot meal. They get camaraderie and communion and communication. They get to hang out together for several hours. It's an utterly beautiful, and I got to sing for these unhoused folks yesterday. I've never had a more appreciative audience. I mean, I have been with musicians, I have been with, all kinds of cool, cultured people, but I've never had people banging on the table, yo brother, you got a voice, brother, you got a voice. It was amazing. It was just wonderful. And so the QR, hi Jasper, you good baby. The QR code, he just thinks I'm too loud. The QR code is to connect you with the drop-in center. And if you're interested in helping that project, they would more than adore your help, because the places like this always need money. So there are really two things to claim your attention. There's a drop-in center, and there's also Interlude. So think about these things. If you feel like you want to help in some of the stuff that Mel is doing, we would be pretty thrilled. I'd like to have one more story, and then I'm going to sing one final song, and we'll be on our way. So, who's got our last story?
Can I just second on Mel's story about Marshall?
Yes.
Because I met Marshall and Jasper at a Mexican restaurant and down the street called Fresh Agave. And they invited me over for dinner, and a few weeks later now I feel like you're sort of my adopted family because we hang out a lot together. And I just love the brotherly love between the two of them. And I didn't know Mel before, or Marshall, but there's just something really special between these two and this dog. And it's just been such a joy to be in their lives this, past couple months. Yeah, so they bring home strays, not just dogs, people too.
Jasper says he does not know your name, but he knows you smell like love. He doesn't care that he does not know your name. What really matters is that you're quite enough. He's always glad to see you come, just like Marshall and Mel. He's always glad to see you come. When you're in the room, all is well. Jasper's got a thing for women. That's something we've all known. He likes you for a whole lot more than that. You've considered him one of your own. Marshall and Jasper, I just have to say, you guys have come to save the day. Kind and loving, all concerned. We wouldn't know how to make it on the way without you two here to save the day. Jasper does not know her name. He just knows she smells like love, looks like love, talks like love, smells like love, lives like love. Always glad to see her here today. Oh my God. So, one more song I would like to share with you. This was written a while ago, back in actually 1975. It was supposed to be a song for choirs to sing in 76 for the big, 200th anniversary. Well, the publisher unfortunately lost the copy that was supposed to be printed. They found it way too late, and the song came out on July 5.
1 day late.
1 day late. But I've sung it time and time again. I got to sing it at Mount Rushmore, looking at the statues of the presidents. I got to sing it in Washington, D.C., at a huge meeting downtown. I've gotten to sing this all over the country. In fact, actually, I got to sing it in about 3 or 4 or 5 other countries. I sang it to the Brits. I sang it to the French. I sang it to the Nigerians. Just because I wanted them to know how I felt about my country. This is called I See America. And this will be my final piece. Along the highways, by the fields of standing corn, I breathe the mountain air so fresh and clean. I've seen the springtime forests, I breathe the mountain air. I've seen the forests fresh and green. But I've been in other places where it's hard to breathe the air, and the high-rise nightmare blocks the morning sun. Little ones play in the dirty streets, and no one seems to care. America's children, look what we have done. I see America through the eyes of love. For all the children to be free. And if you see, put your hand to the job. There is work that must be done till freedom's song is sung from sea to sea. Well, I've seen the dauntless pilgrims came from foreign shores, risked the raging peril of the sea. I've seen them suffer hardship, seen them risk their lives in war, in order that a people might be free. But I've seen how first Americans were driven from their land, and I've seen the slave ships come from far away. Tyranny is still alive, there's hate on every hand. We must work to end oppression's day. I see America through the eyes of love. Long for all her children to be free. And if you see, put your hand to the job. There is work that must be done till freedom's song is sung from sea to sea. I've seen the untold millions whose birthplace freedom made, who nourished by her dreams grew strong and tall.
teach the children so the dream would never fade. And I've seen them stand to answer freedom's call. I've seen how greed and carelessness can wipe that dream away and create a living nightmare instead. Rise up, children, dream again. It's time for us to say. Some may scoff, the dreamers are not dead. I see America through the eyes of love. I long for all her children to be free. If you see, put your hands to the job. There is work that must be done. Freedom's song is sung, and freedom's bell is rung. Freedom's song is sung from sea to shining sea, from sea to shining